procure, gain, amass, collect, gather, attain, secure, snag, rack up, obtain, grab, score, nab, acquire. As in, acquire some strategy tips to help you win the game. Acquire.
My name is Paula Deming, and if you want to be the world's greatest gamer, you've come to the right place. I win 41% of the games I play.
Wait, I lose more than half the time? That can't be right.
Those who win, do. Those who don't, research new ways to get that win.
And I've done that research, so you don't have to. So join me for some Dicey strategy, made possible by the World Series of Board Gaming.
Welcome to the series where strategy gets dicey. Today we're talking about the classic Sid Saxon game, Acquire. Want to buy up a bunch of corporations and amass the most cash? If you don't, I don't know why you're playing this game, because that's how you win. And I'm going to give you some tips to help you get that win. Tip number 1. When choosing which companies to buy shares in, prioritize the ones that are most likely to be part of a merger. That way, when those mergers trigger, you've positioned yourself to have a majority or minority share in those companies. If you're the person with the most or second most shares of a company when it's acquired, you get a sweet bonus payout. And if you can win the majority in the first merger, you'll get a nice early influx of cash that can set you up for success for the rest of the game. But how do you know which companies are most likely to merge and deserve your early investment? Companies formed near the edge of the board are typically harder to connect to, especially if they're in the corner, and less likely to merge. So pick companies with more tiles in the middle of the board. Tip number 2. In the early game, you want to have shares in the company being acquired in a merger. This gives you the option to sell those shares for an influx of cash if you need it. But it also gives you the chance to trade in stock you got for cheap and swap them for shares in a larger, more valuable company, which just might help you become the majority shareholder. The early game is also the time you'll want to consider just holding on to your stock rather than selling it or trading it in, especially if you aren't hurting for cash. The acquired company is more likely to come back on the board in the early part of the game, and when it does, you'll have a head start on shares for that company. This is an especially good strategy if you hold tiles that will make it easy for you to reform the company yourself. You've got a head start and the founder's bonus share. Tip number 3. Never let anyone be the only person with stock in any company, especially if that company looks like it's likely to merge. If only one person holds stock, they'll get both the majority and minority bonus, and you just can't afford to let them get that kind of payout. This means you're going to have to try to keep track of who has stocks in which companies and how many they have. So stop being distracted and engage that brain. Besides, if you're keeping track, you'll know when you have a majority. You only need one more stock than your opponents to have it, and buying more than that isn't an efficient use of your capital. Though you might find it useful to know that owning 13 stocks in a company will guarantee that you're the majority shareholder. And finally, tip number 4, never trigger mergers that don't benefit you. If you aren't going to get a good payout from it, wait. Buy more stocks to get a minority or majority bonus, or build the size of the company so that shares you own are worth more. But don't trigger a merger that's going to have more value for your opponents than it does for you. And now that you've invested your time here with me, go forth and let these strategy tips pay dividends. Enjoy winning Acquire. And if you want to test your skills in an official setting, consider competing in the World Series of Board Gaming happening in September in Las Vegas. Acquire is one of the 16 ring events, and the tournament grand prize is $25,000. The World Series of Board Gaming is helping to sponsor this strategy series. And if you'd like more information about the event, you can check out www.wsbgvegas.com, which is linked below. And if you use my code Dicey with that link, you'll get a discount on your package. Thanks for watching. Let me know your strategy tips in the comments below. Now, give a girl some privacy.